Are you a beginner when it comes to talking to your partner about sex and it just feels so fucking awkward to do? Let me help you. Hey guys, I'm Stephanie Ganowski, sexologist and sex coach for men, and I just want to share with all you newbies when it comes to the sex conversations how to do it, how to get started without feeling fucking awkward. As many of you probably do if you're not used to talking about this topic, right? If you used to have sex and now you're no longer having it and you realize, wow, we never talk about it, then you want to start talking about it first in order to have it and have it feel natural, right? If you're not talking about it and you're having it sporadically, chances are you feel like you're risking rejection every single time you initiate because there's like this elephant in the room all the time of, does she even want me? Does she want this? I don't know. It's like a mystery and you're like on your tiptoes, walking on eggshells to get sex. That's not fun. That's not sexy. You want to live your life like that. Plus, if you guys aren't connected and sex isn't easy to talk about, then chances are that sex that you have once you're walking on eggshells and she says, yes, fine, I'll give it to you, which sounds like she's doing you a favor, which I know most guys hate. When you're doing it, it doesn't feel like you're both connected, like you're both in it, you're both enjoying it at the same time, right? So let's get you both enjoying it at the same time, making it easy to talk about and easy to do. And what that starts with is a little conversation. It could be less than 10 minutes. It could be 5 minutes. And it could go something like this. Call out the elephant in the room and say, babe, this is really awkward for me to say because we never talk about this, but it's definitely important to me and I think it's important for us, but we're not having sex nearly as much as we used to. And I'm just curious why. I think I have an idea why. I think it's A and B. And I'm curious to know what your reasoning is or what your thoughts are on it. And then just be quiet and listen to her and really hear what she's saying and try not to get all crazy if she says something like, well, you never helped me with the kids and you're driving me nuts. Like, try to calm yourself and just hear her out. So this mini conversation can be for the sole purpose of understanding why you both think you're not having sex or very little sex. Or very random sex. Don't say we don't have any sex, because if you have it sporadically, that's gonna just ruin the conversation. Never use the words never, always, throw them out of your vocabulary, they're gone. If you can say, okay, well, what do you think if this week, for the next week, I work on doing this, and maybe you can work on doing this, what do you think? Do you have another idea? All right, so part 2 is coming up with a different action step. And then you say, all right, why don't we check in a week from now and see how we're doing with these? Bam, you're done. That's the simplest sex conversation to get an basic ground level understanding of why are we not doing it. Here's what I think. What do you think? Here's what I think we should do for the next week. One action step. What do you think we should do? Or what are you going to work on? Here's what I'll work on. And once you both got clarity and you have an action step and you tell her we'll check in a week, then there's the expectation that, hey, we're gonna hold each other accountable to this because we're gonna talk about this next week. And say you did stick to those things and it's like, oh, I feel really good about that. Like, how do you feel about it? I stuck with mine. Okay, cool, right? Like that's like a week of accountability where you're staying true to your own words and you're doing it for each other and you're checking in with each other. The most important thing is make sure the next week you sit down again and talk to each other about how the action steps went. The action step was she was wanting more touch from you without expecting sex, and you gave her a hug or a kiss every day that was long and romantic, but you didn't push sex or you didn't expect sex from it, and you did that, most likely she's gonna be like, I feel really good. When she feels that sexual connection, she's going to slowly start desiring you again. All right, she's not going to feel like you're needy for sex anymore. And it's going to come across in a relaxing way. And we need to relax before we get aroused. So that's a great example of something most women want in a heterosexual relationship. If your action was her prioritizing quality time with you and cooking with you on a nightly basis instead of being on her phone or having her earphones in, whatever, if she's present with you while cooking together and she did that, that's gonna make you feel good and more connected to her, right? So in this conversation, you're gonna acknowledge each other for that. I appreciate that you did this. I could definitely tell that you were trying and it felt like, we were more connected this week and that feels really good. Like I feel romantically closer to you this last week. What do you think we should do this week? And then you carry forward. This is the stuff that leads to sex. very naturally. If you fall out of sticking to your word, then you have to call your partner out. You have to say, well, babe, like, you know, that makes me feel like you don't care about this. You're not prioritizing it. What do you think we should do this next week? Are you committed to prioritizing this with me? What do you think you should do? And it's having that conversation. But chances are there will be little wins. I always tell my clients, always look for the little wins because they're out there. It's just when we're struggling with a problem, we tend to see the problem everywhere because we don't know what else to look for. We don't even know what wins we're looking for, so we're never gonna find them. So if you can set actions to then be on the lookout for the next week of things that progress your relationship in a romantic way, then chances are you will be more appreciative of them. You will have that next check-in a week from then and bring up the conversation again with your partner, and you guys will both feel fulfilled in the actions you took or the actions you attempted. Sometimes you won't, maybe you did one thing the whole week, but at least you were a step forward from the previous week. So I hope this helped you just to get started. And even you just having this simple sex conversation, if you're not used to doing this, is a huge win. You got to open the door. All right. So I wish you luck and I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one.